Ashes of the Damned is a really interesting launch map because right away you can tell that they are at least trying to do things differently. The atmosphere, the layout, the way each area feels like it has its own little story behind it. There is a lot going on here, and a lot of it honestly surprised me. So today I want to break down everything this map does well, everything that annoyed me, why I think it's a solid start for the game, what could be better, and every aspect of this map we're going to break it down today. And I want to start off with the positives, and one of the positives to me, it's just barely in the positives, but it is a positive, is the atmosphere. Now, I know this map has been getting a lot of glaze for the atmosphere and people saying it's the best atmosphere, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's necessarily that great, but I do think it is a step up from what we have been getting with the facility style daytime maps that look very samey. This map is set in the Dark Aether, like everyone knows. It has a purple dark skybox. It is a nighttime map. I think overall it has a good atmosphere. I wouldn't say it's a great atmosphere or anything like that, but like I said, it is definitely an improvement upon what we have been getting. Right when you spawn in, you see the dark purple glow of the Dark Aether sky, and it kind of just sets the tone a little bit. I wish that it had a little bit more color. It's a little bit gray. I feel like it needs to be more purple. Like, the sky is very purple, yes, but like on the map, there's not a lot of purple lighting actually on the map. One of the best spots for lighting wise is probably the diner, because the diner has like the flickering lights and it looks really nice. Plus it has a cool Easter egg step there, which we'll get into later, but it does need a little more saturation in my opinion and a little more color. I wish it was just a bit more purple, but overall I would say the atmosphere is a positive. Along with the layout of this map is really different from anything we've had before. It's kind of like this big figure 8 loop, which is kind of weird at first. When you first play it, it is a little bit odd, but once you get used to it and you actually learn the map, it is a lot of fun. It actually feels like a little bit of an exploration, like you have this big open map, and driving around Tessie for the first time just really feels unique and fun. Like, there's not a lot of experiences like this. This map is a huge map, but it never really feels that big. And that is mainly because of the launch pads. The launch pads speed everything up so much. Without them, I feel like this map would really be like a Transit 2 situation, to where it's really not a good map without the launch pads because everything is so spread out. The launch pads, in my opinion, like definitely save this map. It's one of the best things about it. Tessie, aka the car, is genuinely just fun to drive. The movement feels smooth and it adds something new to the game. We've never really had a vehicle like this before in a round-based map. Like, we did have the boat and terminus, but other than that, this is a unique feature that we've never really seen before. And it does feel good overall. However, I do think that Tessie needs more health. Just driving from one area to the next, the car can almost explode. It is too fast. There needs to be some way to buff the health. Even once you get all 3 upgrades, the health never seems to go up. That is the only issue I really have with Tessie, along with the boss fight. We'll get into that later. And also, upgrading her, in my opinion, is just harder than it needs to be. You have to complete about 40% of the main Easter egg just to unlock all 3 upgrades. And to unlock the final upgrade, you have to do the most annoying step we've had in years. It is so irritating. You have to go into the fog areas, which is like the out of bounds in between areas, where zombies never stop spawning. They always super sprint and they hit for far more damage. You have to go out in these areas and find 3 tiny little keys that are so extremely hard to see that half the time when you're looking at them, you don't even know you're looking at them. Like, you genuinely cannot see these keys. You have to find 3 of them out of bounds and shoot them with the wonder weapon and then reload the wonder weapon to retrieve them. This step is horrible in my opinion. It is so not player friendly. It's horrible in solo. It's just, I expected them to put something in these out of bounds areas, like this middle fog area, but I just wish it was something that was not this. This step is just awful in my opinion. I'm not a fan at all. The wonder weapon, aka the Necro Fluid Gauntlet, is one of the best wonder weapons we've had in a long time. It really feels great to use. It's super unique. The way it works is you have these needles in the gauntlet and you shoot these needles and you can actually explode them, which will like blow up pools of blood, and it does massive damage to the zombie. It's extremely powerful. I honestly feel like it might get nerfed because it has that much power, but it also basically has infinite ammo. As long as you reload the gun, all of the needles that you shot will actually come back to the weapon. You almost can't run out of ammo. This weapon is extremely powerful, and I really hope they don't nerf it because it is also a good melee weapon. It does a lot of melee damage. I'm really a big fan of this wonder weapon. It's very unique visually. It looks awesome. They've never done a wonder weapon like this before, other than the gauntlets from Ancient Evil, I guess, but those seem very, very different. Overall, I'm a big, big fan of the wonder weapon. Now I want to get to the Easter egg because this is one of the best Easter eggs we've had in a while. We know that in the Reckoning, Treyarch tried to go back to a more classic style of Easter egg that is harder to find, but easy to replicate. And with this Easter egg, they really nailed that feeling because some of these steps were very difficult to find. We spent hours and hours trying to find it. It took about 10 hours to solve this Easter egg. But once you know those steps and once you have found them and you know how to actually replicate them, They are pretty easy to replicate and pretty fun to replicate, honestly. Most of the steps make sense and they keep the pace moving pretty well overall. My favorite step has to be the one where you're at the diner and you freeze the lightning strikes and you have to revive 3 zombie corpses in unique ways, and then you have to get those zombies to go into the lightning strikes and they get shocked and then they die and you free their souls or whatever. That's just a really cool step in my opinion. It looks so visually cool. It's a unique idea that they haven't done before, and I'm just a big fan of that step specifically. Little side note here, my team was almost first in the world to beat this Easter egg. We literally died in the boss fight. We were first in the world in the boss fight and we died. So when Astra Malorium drops, if you want to watch people hunt for the first in the world Easter egg completion, come into my stream. I'm always live streaming on YouTube on this account, so if you want to watch that, please stop by when the next map drops. But let's get back to the actual video. The boss fight, it looks visually incredible. The arena is awesome and the boss itself looks cool, but it is definitely too hard. And it's not really difficult hard, it's just annoying hard. It kind of feels the same as the Richtofen boss fight from Reckoning. The boss spams attacks constantly, and a lot of them are basically unavoidable, especially when you're in Tessie. You would think that they would want to have you be in Tessie as like a safer zone where you can actually be safe and the boss has a little bit less damage or something, but it feels like you're actually better off to be just walking because you can at least dodge the attacks slightly easier. I don't know, man. Some of these attacks are just too much. It definitely needs some balancing change because it is an okay boss. I think it's not good, it's not great, but it's okay. It's not necessarily a bad boss, but it just feels too unfair in my opinion. They need to make it a little more fair for the players. And I don't want to spoil the ending cutscene, but the ending cutscene is kind of generic in my opinion. It is just okay. I'd give it like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It's pretty much the most generic story you could think of. If you imagine what you think will happen, that's what happens. I mean, just imagine what you think the ending cutscene will be, that's what it is. It does set up the rest of the game well, which I'm excited for. You kind of already know what's going to happen in the next maps, which is a little bit sad, but also that's kind of the point of this. I feel like they want to set up the rest of this, but I'm not sure how they're going to actually bring like the intriguing element back because I already feel like I know exactly what is going to happen in these next maps, and I just don't know what they can do to really surprise me. I hope they can surprise me, but I don't know. This map does seemingly have good side Easter eggs as well. There's one side Easter egg to where you actually race RCXDs. There's another side Easter egg where Dempsey has like PTSD and he goes into like a flashback. It's a really cool side Easter egg. There's another one where you get teleported to this like random room solo and you have to fight like a bear, which was pretty challenging actually. I have not done all side Easter eggs yet, but overall I would say that they are good. And Treyarch has really started to find the sweet spot with side Easter eggs in my opinion. So with this being the launch map, I'm gonna go ahead and compare it to Terminus. Overall, I think Terminus looks better than this map and has a better boss fight. But other than that, I would prefer this map. So I would honestly say it's about even with Terminus. If you said it was a little better than Terminus, I wouldn't blame you. And if you said it was a little worse than Terminus, I also wouldn't blame you. I would say they're about even. So I would have it right now in like my middle of the pack B to high B tier, which to me is about an 8 to an 8.5 out of 10. That's personally where I would rank this map right now. I have not played Curse Mode yet or anything like that. I'm going to be making separate videos on that. But overall, I am really happy with this map, and I think that this game has a good direction. I think if they keep it up, this is going to be a really strong game. It just depends, in my opinion, on how they handle post-launch updates. If they can keep the updates coming and keep the game feeling fresh, this is going to be a very strong game. I definitely think it's better than Black Ops 6, and I'm very happy with it right now. There is some things that definitely needs improving, like the story still. Honestly, I don't know if the story will ever improve. That's my opinion. I just don't know if it'll ever come back to what it once was. They need to fix a little bit of the Easter egg quests and future maps with some of the steps, like the key step. Please don't do more steps like that. That was really annoying. But overall, I am happy with this. If you want to see my thoughts on the Reckoning, you can click on this video right here. Thank you guys for watching.